Okay, welcome back. Where are we? Video 12. Video 12. Um, Over the last I'd say couple videos, at least the last video, I got a lot of things like, railings done. I got the stairs on the front bit done. I've been sort of putting off this set of stairs. Um, Bring that up. Of course, they're done now, but I've been putting them off mainly because, again, as I've said a few times, I don't know what parts I'm supposed to use. I found some parts that sort of make sense, so I went with them. I had to make a few parts. Um, there are some parts that I'm just very unsatisfied with, such as these upright spindles, the horizontal spindles that go between the tread riser and the rail. Um, in the picture, they're round. On on the wood, they're flat. These pieces here. Now I tried them. I was extremely unsatisfied with them, so I just went with rounded spindles. I have a ton of these sort of pieces of round dowel. Um, Very, very small diameter. I think that works really, really well. Bring that in so we can take a look at least one of them. So yeah, I had had to make a couple of parts. Had to settle on just building it, because I just, again, the instructions look great, but they don't tell you what parts to use. I mean, they do, but none of the parts are numbered. They tell you what parts to use, but nothing's numbered, so you just don't know. So this build has been one huge guessing game. But they're done. I'm very, very pleased with them. I think they came out really nice. I am now at the point where I'm gonna close in the deck, meaning I think I'm gonna put the grating covers here, these on. That and a bunch of the other deck details, such as the ship's wheel, the captain's wheel. The anchor hoist, which actually is it goes around the main mast, which is really clever. Yeah, so there's a lot of details that I have to work around and figure out what parts to use. Um, Again, the instructions are really, really bad. So we built those stairs, so that's done. Stained them, that's done. Next is, I believe I'm going to do the gratings, but I think I'm also going to work on either the cannons. I might skip the cannons for now because I don't have any of the barrels for the most of the cannons that I would like to use yet. And maybe I'll work on the lifeboat, the dinghy, or the whatever you want to call it. Try and figure out that piece of loveliness, because while the frame and the keel all look fairly simple and conventional, I don't know about the planking of this boat. I think that's what these pieces here are. So that'll be a mystery as well. I'm hoping the instructions will go into a little bit better detail about that. I know there is a small section on the boat, so I'll have to look at that. So there we are. We'll get started on some of these things. I'll give some thought to what to do next, cannons or lifeboat, whatever. And we will be back. Okay. So we've done a few things, got a few things out of the way, deck details. It's actually starting to look like a proper, proper ship. Um, I got the ship's wheel here, as you probably saw in the photos. That obviously is ready. I just haven't glued it down. I'm waiting to see if I know exactly where I want it and where it should be. The instructions are pretty clear on it, so I think I'm safe in gluing it down. I just want to wait it out. Um, I have an embarrassing admission to make, and if you are going to build this boat, bear this in mind. Please bear this in mind. Um, I am the kind of person that tends to rush ahead. I tend to look at something and say, okay, I'm going to work on it. I'll do it. I sometimes don't see the obvious, and this was quite obvious. You've heard me complain a few times about numbered parts on the instructions, but no numbered parts on the sheets. Um, Turns out there are numbers in the instructions because I was building some of these deck details, these parts here. The ship's wheel. And like this box here, I assume it's a map box. It's going to go up by the captain's wheel. They want you to use parts E8 and E10. Um, if you happen to find the sheet that says it's the sheet that has the E on it, I don't know which one that is. You are otherwise stuck for, well, what part do I use? Because none of the parts are numbered. Well, as it turns out, and again, I am very embarrassed by this. When you skip all the way to the back, there is actually a wonderful diagram of all the parts and their numbers. And I'll put a good clear picture up here so you can see it. I know the lighting is making it very difficult. But they're all numbered. They're all sort of explained. I feel so stupid, honestly. I didn't think to jump ahead. I expected this to be at the beginning of the instruction sheet, and it turns out it's at the very end. So there you are. You do have numbered parts, front and back. I wish I'd known that a while ago. I don't think I've used any incorrect parts yet. Maybe we'll see. But again, very embarrassing. If you've been following my build, you obviously have heard me say things like, none of these parts are numbered. It's very difficult. Well, eh, they are. They're numbered. So, my embarrassment aside, I think we'll continue on with some of these parts that we need to get built. I think I'm gonna build a couple more parts, and we'll call it an end to the video. But the next video, I'm going to do the dinghy, or the lifeboat. That's next in the next video. I'm actually quite excited for that. So I think that's it. We'll get back to building, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. Got a few things done. I do apologize that I didn't film any of this. I kind of did in a way. Some of these parts that I built and are currently attached now, I did on this Friday night's live stream. I didn't talk much. I didn't show what I was doing, but they were just small details. Like I got the ship's bell in and attached, and looks good. The wheel is attached. I'm assuming it's a map box is attached, and I'll talk about that in a second. I got this this rack where some of the belay pins will be installed. That's attached. I'm not sure I did that correctly either. Again, the instructions are very, very bad. On the subject of the instructions, of course, excuse me. I did explain just a few minutes ago that I was embarrassed because after all the complaining I've done about, not having numbered parts, I found this sheet that actually has numbered parts. Yes, there are numbered parts, but they're not numbered and detailed well. For instance, the map box. Again, I'm calling it a map box because I don't know what it is otherwise. I believe that's what it is. It's where a lot of maps, charts, maybe even flags. I'm not sure. Maybe that's where they keep their flags. Anyway, that box, if any of you have built kits like this, you'll look at it and say, that doesn't look quite right. Well, it doesn't, because I don't actually know what it's meant to look like. The instructions only show that. And it only says to use parts E8 and E10. Problem with that is it also uses like 6 other parts that it's not numbering. And I know I didn't build it correctly. And in fact, it looks nothing like that photo, which again is hard to tell because it's the only picture of that box. The same goes for the bell housing thing, that thing right there where the bell hangs from. And the same thing goes for the anchor hoist, this thing here that uses parts A13 and A10. That's all the information I have on these parts. It doesn't explain how they go together, what other parts they need, because clearly they need more than just parts E8 and E10. I just finished watching Boiler Dan's video on that box, and his is definitely built differently, probably more detailed because his kit isn't the cheapest version of this kit that you can get. Excuse me. So it is what it is. I'm obviously not able to go back and change the box now because it's glued. It's together. Same thing will happen with the anchor hoist. It says to use parts A10 and A13. A10 and A13 are this piece here. And where was it? This piece here. Clearly that anchor hoist is made up of more than just 2 round parts. So somewhere in between, there's a bunch of other parts I've got to identify, and I don't know what they are. I suspect they may be parts of these, it may be more of these. I don't really know. So again, one triumph, yay, numbered parts. But you fall back on the same negative that it doesn't tell you all the parts. It doesn't even show you how it's built. I'm going to run into that with the dinghy or the lifeboat too, because that's all the information that particular build part shows. It doesn't explain how to build it. It just shows the final product and some basic plans on it. So just be aware of that when you're building this. Another problem, there's a lot of belay pin racks, again, whatever you call them, to be installed. The problem is it doesn't show you where to put them on the entire boat. Now, I have some ideas of where they go, based on other builds and other kits I've built, but genuinely, I don't know where some of these things are meant to go. Because again, the instructions are that bad. I think that's it. I'll give the anchor hoist a bit of a try. We'll see if I can't build it and make it look somewhat presentable. I don't think I'm going to be able to build it like this, like the instructions are attempting apparently to show. But we'll give it a quick shot, and we'll be back.
I think I have it figured out. So Boiler Dan actually made a lot of detailed explanations of this particular process on video number, I think it's like video number 17 in his series. I am having a little trouble getting things to fit, but I kind of understand how they work now. So we got this part here with all these little things glued in around the circle. Now I've left this open because I have to fit this ring inside here. And then I'll glue the rest on later. This is meant to sit on top of this. And then this sits on top of these. And these little wedges go in between. And this sandwiches them. And that's essentially the build. There's a lot of little rings left over. I don't know what they go to again. Instructions. But that's how it's going to look. So I'll finish it and I'll explain better, but I wanted to kind of show how this is going together. Again, maybe if somebody else is building this exact kit, they're going to run into this problem. This maybe will help somebody. So we'll get back to finishing this off and we'll be back. Okay, I think I've got it figured out. I have to have figured out because it's all glued together now. So anyway, this is where we are. I found one trick that worked really well, and Boiler Dan did point this out, is to dig out the mast that is going to go around. And that's this dowel here. I don't know how big it is exactly, but basically it's meant to go down the middle of the anchor hoist like that. But if you build it on that mast, it keeps it nice and straight, and you're able to make it work. So there we are. That's done. One mystery solved, and I'm actually glad that I checked his video. I never think to do that. So anyway, we'll finish this. We're done with that part. We're finished with this video. We'll get that installed. I think the next video is going to be the dinghy or the lifeboat. And there we go. Thanks for watching.